She was just a little girl with a smile. But what she did touched the heart of a royal guard. Her name was Emily. She was 7 years old, had soft curly hair tied in pink ribbons, and the warmest smile you'd ever see. Emily also had Down syndrome, and her way of seeing the world was as pure as it was beautiful. She held her father's hand tightly as they made their way through the crowd. Her eyes lit up the moment she spotted the royal guard standing at attention, motionless and proud. She stopped walking. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging at his sleeve. "Look, it's the soldier, the real soldier." Her father smiled. "Yes, sweetheart, that's a royal guard. He's very important. He protects the palace." Emily's fascination grew with every step closer. While most tourists stayed behind the barriers, snapping pictures or whispering jokes, Emily let go of her father's hand and walked slowly toward the guard. The crowd began to murmur, some in amusement, others in concern. But nobody stopped her. Emily came to a halt just a few feet away from the guard. She raised her tiny hand and gave the biggest, most sincere wave she could muster. "Hi, Mr. Soldier. Thank you for protecting the castle." The crowd held its breath. Cameras froze mid-click. The royal guard, known for his unshakable focus and refusal to engage, did something nobody expected. He blinked. Then slowly, he turned his head, just a few degrees, and looked at Emily. And then, he smiled. The audience gasped. The unbreakable had bent, not for disrespect, but for something pure, something real. The guard took one step forward, then another, and without breaking his silence, he gently lowered his rifle, leaned down to Emily's level, and extended a gloved hand. "Would you like to meet someone special?" he asked, his voice calm and kind. Emily's eyes widened. "Yes." He led her carefully across the guarded path, past the gate and into the side courtyard. A majestic royal horse stood nearby, already saddled and calm. Its white coat shimmered under the London sun. The guard gave a subtle signal. Another guard approached and offered assistance. Together, they gently lifted Emily onto the horse. Her smile lit up the entire courtyard. The crowd behind the gate erupted into applause. Phones were raised, not to capture a spectacle, but a memory, one they would never forget. Emily sat proudly on the horse, holding the reins as the royal guard stood beside her. She giggled with pure joy. "Can I be a soldier too?" she asked. The guard looked up at her, then gave a crisp salute. "You already are, Miss Emily, the bravest one I've ever met." And then, in a moment that melted every heart watching, Emily leaned down from the saddle and wrapped her arms around the guard's neck. He returned the embrace, gently, respectfully. A symbol of two worlds, one of strict formality and one of open innocence, coming together in the most human way. That photo, the hug between a royal guard and a little girl with Down syndrome, would later appear on news sites, social media feeds, and even television screens around the world. But it wasn't about the attention. It was about a moment of grace, a break in routine to honor something far greater than rules, kindness. After the moment passed, the guards resumed their positions. The routine of the palace continued, but something had changed. Not visibly, not structurally, but in the hearts of those who had witnessed what happened. Tourists spoke of it in hushed tones. Parents explained it to their children, and elderly visitors wiped tears from their eyes. A simple act had done something extraordinary. It reminded people that humanity still exists, even in the most stoic of places. Emily's family spent the rest of the day in London, but that one moment stayed with them more than any landmark. Her parents would recall how proud she was, how many times she retold the story to strangers, waiters, and even the hotel receptionist. And that royal guard, he went back to his life. But for weeks afterward, he would receive letters. Some from families of children with disabilities, thanking him for seeing their children. Others from veterans, saying he honored his uniform by choosing compassion over rigidity. He never made a public statement again. He didn't have to. Because sometimes true strength isn't in standing still. It's in knowing exactly when to move. And on that day, a soldier moved. Not for duty, but for love. Emily had reminded them all of something they'd forgotten. That every act of kindness, no matter how small, could ripple out in ways they never imagined. She didn't break protocol. She broke barriers. And for a brief moment, one child's innocence became the heartbeat of a nation.